wrote a little thing one time, and it's on a piece of paper, and it said, I feel like an envelope, brown and unaddressed. And I always wanted to do a project where people sort of defined who they were and created their own label and put inside that envelope what they would like to leave for the next generation. Hi, I'm Margaret Garcia, and I'm a visual artist from Boyle Heights here in Los Angeles. This is my studio. I define Chicano art by producing it. That's how I define it. You know, I'm a Chicana, that's what I am. So whatever I do is Chicano, that's it. I've had this studio for over 22 years. In 1999, I guess, I moved into the studio. I was living in Montecito Heights at the time. My education was, of course, started here in Boyle Heights. I went to Sheridan Elementary School, Hollenbeck High School, Roosevelt High School, and then I went to CSUN. It was called San Fernando Valley State College when I entered, but within that semester they began calling it Cal State Northridge, University of Northridge. And I got in there through the Chicano Studies program. It was an EOP program, Educational Opportunity Program. And in that first year, I wanted to change my major from education or Chicano Studies and become an art major. And I was told by my counselor that because I was being funded through the Chicano Studies program, that if I changed my major, they would cut off my funding. So I said to myself, you know, I really don't want to be a Chicano Studies teacher. That isn't my goal. I mean, I'd like to be an artist. I didn't really have a plan, so I left because I felt like I was paying for something and I was going into debt over something that I didn't want. I ended up enrolling at LACC. I went to community college. From the creative writing teacher, I believe I learned discipline in the arts, because he says, all you people in here want to take creative writing and you want to write poetry and you want to write stories and you want to write all these things, but you don't read. And I said, that's true. You know, if you want to write, you need to read. If you want to paint and draw, then you need to see art. And my solution to that was books. It was always books, you know, any kind of art book. Or if I could go to a gallery, a museum, then I was always harvesting, stealing from the best. I ended up doing a mural on the corner of Beethoven and Venice with Randy Giraldi, Two Blue Whales. And that came out in the movie called Murmur by Agnes Marda back in the 70s. It won an award for the Cannes Film Festival. And our mural was the mural that was basically used for the advertisement of that movie, so it got a lot of fanfare. Glenna Avila was kind enough to offer me an opportunity at the Los Angeles Photography Center. So by '83, I was working there, and I met Sister Karen over at Self Help Graphic. I met Eloy Torres. I met Irena Cervantes, and we moved the Day of the Dead to the LA Photo Center, and I curated it and I helped put that together, and it was something I was able to get involved with. I was able to get involved with the photographers. I started associating with the photojournalists, the black photographers of Southern California, with Donald Bernard and Willie Middlebrook, and there were quite a number of them. And then I met the Chicano photographers from the LA Times who got the Pulitzer, which was Jose Aurelio Barrera, Monica Almeida, Jose Galvez. Frank Romero, who definitely made it easier for me and opened a lot of doors for me by bringing me into his Christmas sale and in effect introducing me to his patronage. That made my life a lot easier. So I think because I did the Day of the Dead at the Photo Center after I met with Sister Karen, a lot of people thought I was somebody that could help them. And what I realized in that moment, because there were a lot of gatekeepers and it was hard to get to know people, and you know, that I had a strategy that the way I would move forward in my career was by helping other people. When I start doing portraits of people within the community, they're not always Chicano, because the Chicano community has more than Chicano in it. You know, there's that American aspect of what it is to be who I am. Yes, my parents are of Mexican descent, and I have a history, and I know what that history is here in the United States, but that history has within it an understanding and a caring for other people of other cultures. The Chicano community in the United States has been assimilating at a faster rate than any other community. And in my family alone, you know, we have Japanese, we have African American, we have Scottish, we have Irish, we have Jewish, we have all these different aspects that are part of La Raza Cósmica. There is a tolerance that's there. Not always. I mean, I think that there is a bit of nationalism that exists sometimes within the community as a reaction against what we experience. I don't think there's anything wrong with using an icon if it serves your purpose. But I find it boring. I mean, if I embraced an icon and painted it for 40 years, I'd really be bored. I mean, you know, how many times can I paint that? Over and over and over again. And granted, you can paint, but I mean, being skillful and being able to do the same little cartoon over and over again. I don't care if it's Frida Kahlo or Calaveras or the Virgen de Guadalupe or the farm worker flag or La Tormenta or whoever. I mean, if I had to paint that for 40 years, you know, I feel like slitting my throat. If that's all I could do, I might as well go wash dishes. You know, the idea of being an artist is that you get to explore that personal experience. I define Chicano art by creating it.